Hey there, welcome to another episode of Cory and the Wong Notes Q&A/Jam Hang. I got some questions from the internet. How long does it typically take Michael to do a horn arrangement? Michael?
Well, it depends. A day to 3 or 4 days. Yeah. Other times it's like, oh, I know exactly what to do on this. Something like Ellie, I was totally engrossed in that for at least a week. Quickest one was Turbo.
Yeah.
I think I wrote that one in an afternoon.
Well, the interesting thing is so much of the way that I work is instinctual. So I rely on instincts a lot, and I try to go quick, I try to go fast. But there are certain things that you really do need to spend time crafting. Horn arrangements being one of those. How we really find our spots in the groove is another one of those, which actually is a similar question here. If you're just playing on one chord, how do you guys figure out what to play and who should play what? I guess the best way to answer that is to just show you. Typically, I like to think of every part as having its own thing about it that's a hook. If you're just playing on an E7 chord, it's just gonna sound like you're jamming on an E7 chord. But if everybody kind of finds their way in a specific thing, that is kind of what makes the song that song, rather than just jamming on E7. Which is why actually a lot of music is boring to listen to, or a lot of times at a jam session, something can feel like, oh my gosh, this is just going on and on forever. When really it's only been a couple minutes, where sometimes we can play on something for 15 minutes and it could just feel like it could sit there forever. Right. A lot of times it's because everything has its place. There isn't this chaos in our minds of trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be focusing on. Let's start at this tempo. Let's turn those snares on, yeah. Sonny, why don't you start us in a groove? E7.
E7?
Yeah. Yeah, keep going. So that's got a hook thing to it, right? I'm immediately thinking, what can I latch onto and what can I double? I could do this. Kev? Is that we're kind of locked into some parts, and then percussion roll is a little bit of the wild card where there's some extra stuff that's thrown in to kind of make it, it's got a pattern, but also sometimes throwing in some extra things to keep it interesting. As far as writing wise, this might be a similar process to what I do, where I'll maybe have an idea for the horns and I'll give it to Michael. So get the flat five. Keep going on that. Then counter line in the brass. Simple line. Now just the rhythm section, just the rhythm. I'm kind of thinking, should I go flat 3? Yeah. Or something, you know. A lot of times then I'll try to find a very simple melodic idea to just give it something really easy, singable, if there's all this other extra stuff happening. But you can tell in the space of this groove, everything has its place. Gotta put on some weird tone, you know? So that all of a sudden, I can use tones to give something a little more of a signature sound as well. So much about the way that we build grooves and the way that we build things that can go on for a while is that everybody needs to have their own place, and there needs to be holes, and sometimes those holes need to remain empty, sometimes they can be filled, and we need to communicate with each other on who is filling those holes, because if everybody's just playing all over each other, then it just sounds like a mess. In phrasing, you want to put fence posts around phrases to make it feel like there is a resolution. In the same way that you want to put periods at the end of your sentences, absolutely. Music needs phrasing, and sometimes a listener just really needs to know that's where things start over. We as individuals in what we're playing can help define that in our phrasing of what we're doing, but also we as a group can really just decide, boom, here's where something lands. Sometimes it means making a very strong start of the phrase. Sometimes it means making some sort of heroic dismount into the next phrase.
Yeah.
I think it was cool the way we did it because...
Oh, let's give him a mic. Let's give him a mic. Kevin thinks something was cool. We got to hear why.
Yeah. Well, if we all... so what happened here was Sonny and Petar started. If we all started at the same time, we wouldn't have come up with what we just did because we were all kind of digesting what was happening before and responding to that. If we all started at the same time, we could have gotten to something cool, but like we're all listening and kind of seeing where you can fit in range-wise, like trying contrasting ideas. So it's all about listening.
Not every time Nêgah's with us, but she's gonna take care of the higher subdivision. So you said you just give me the 2 and 4, but I was like.
Yeah, see, even in the rhythm section right there, everybody's got their role. Petar knows he's holding it down, driving the groove, and Nêgah's kind of playing the extra subdivision, all the stuff up top.
When Cory started, there was a lot of extra room he could have filled, but he didn't. He just played a little part with the foresight
That's right.
Of knowing that other people are going to be filling holes.
Yeah, it's sometimes a little unfair if somebody just really just takes up all that space. Then everybody else is kind of like, I don't know. But the key factor that Kevin is saying is it's all about listening and responding. A lot of the reason why people go to jam sessions is like, oh, I want to play my thing or I want to get mine in. Yeah, they don't listen to each other. And we've all been guilty of that. It's the sort of thing where if you want something to... What did you say? If you got a couple Heinekens? In this case, none of us have anything to prove or anything to step up and say. Like here, we're just trying to make the dopest groove we can, and we know that that means finding our own space and not just, oh, I'm trying to get mine in. I'm trying to nudge mine in. Again, we've all been guilty of that, and we're all constantly checking ourselves on that, but that's how we build the grooves. Is Eddie's mustache real? Yes. Do you guys have any pre-show rituals? Nothing approved tonight. We know exactly what we're doing. Let's get out there. Let's lock into this pocket. High energy, doesn't matter. coming off not a lot of sleep, but let the parts do the work. And when it's time to open up. Let's let whoever's soloing take us on the journey.
Yes.
Let him tell a story.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Let him tell us.
Yeah.
Let him tell us.
Yeah.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Oh, it does. Oh, it does. Come on, Sonny. Oh, it does.
I'm playing bass guitar.
Does.
I don't go very far.
Does.
Be flat.
Does.
I ain't got no hat.
Does.
That's where it's at.
Does.
I ain't fat.